Hello, and welcome to Saving People Queering Things, the supernatural podcast where Misha gets to talk with a normal voice for once.
Today, we are pulling up to season 4 with episode 20, Rapture.
You got there.
Nice.
Which is funny for no reason at all.
No reason at all.
My name is Noah. My pronouns are he, him.
I'm Elayna. My pronouns are she, they.
I'm Tam. My pronouns are she, her. And today we are welcoming our returning guest star, Jacob.
Hi,
Oh my
Jacob.
God.
Say hi. Oh,
No,
hi.
you're supposed to say hi.
That's the document telling you to say greetings.
Although, to be fair, everybody else's is just what they say in the color.
Yeah.
He gets say hi.
I get
I
say
mean,
hi.
It's in his color.
Yeah,
So
say
you should
hi.
read everything in his color.
Oh, right.
Jacob, you're doing great, my man.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Great.
You know what? At least someone's in my corner.
I'm just short-circuiting.
The audience
Okay.
is not going to understand that. Sam just gestured to the corner of the table, which we were both seated next to. This is very funny.
Not good. Never
That
mind.
is great.
Okay. Noah,
Podcast gold. My question for all of you today is, your estranged family members showed back up saying they had been an angel vessel. How serious would you take it?
well, that's quite a question.
Quite a
boy.
question.
I think it's a good question. I think given how weird I am, I'd be like, sounds legit.
Yeah.
I would take it seriously, but I'd be like, hey, yeah, cool.
I
So
let them live their life.
what's next? Like,
Yeah, like I would want to know what that means. So it's like, okay, so like, are you not an angel anymore? Like, what are we doing? Like, what's the deal, friend?
so now you just want to have dinner and sit down and chill?
You want to
Alright.
you just got done being chained to a comet for a year, and you just want to,
Sam?
Yeah, I mean, I would like to say that I would like listen and hear them out and like try to understand what was happening, but I'd probably just be like, I don't believe you.
it's fair.
As the guest star, returning guest star, don't laugh at me.
Say hi.
Say hi. I would probably ask questions. I would see out of honestly pure curiosity, let it go do its thing, and I would watch. I'd be like, all right, how legit is this? Or, I would want proof. I would investigate.
Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Proof would be tough.
Yes, that's true.
Especially given if it's the same situation as we see unfolding in the episode, they won't have the powers to prove it, because the reason that they're back is because they're not an angel anymore.
Right. But like,
So
I would
No.
I would investigate, and like, obviously shit happens like to them, even when he like takes over. So like, I don't know, if something was gonna happen and he was doing his thing, I would go follow him and be like, all right, I want to see what happens. I want to see if you're telling the truth, or if this is,
Okay, so follow them and
yeah.
okay.
possibly hire a private investigator.
Ooh.
Honestly, yeah. Actually, yeah, that sounds like a very like realistic thing that some people would do, I bet.
Yeah, like hire Jessica Jones.
No, there are lots of private eyes that like people hire all the time to see what their significant other is
Of course
doing.
they do.
Oh yeah.
It's not just a trope, it's like an actual thing.
I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I know.
It is.
I almost applied to a job to be a private eye.
I did apply to a job to be a private eye.
Yeah, they're just up on you on the job listings, but it's
Are
all you do.
Experience though.
Some of them they do. You said you didn't.
No, you don't
No, 'cause-
necessarily need experience, but if you show up to the interview knowing the interviewer's middle name, that's a step ahead. You know,
See?
you just got to demonstrate some stuff.
The whole literally all you do is follow people and take pictures if they're like with someone else.
Pull out their coffee receipt from this morning and
Stalking.
say, I got the job.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just-
I'm gonna pull my my 5-star guest star card and say, why don't we get back on track here?
Okay, wow, look at that. It's a one-time use, because if you do it again, I think Sam legally gets to smack you.
yeah, that's
Absolutely.
fair.
Wait,
and
But the one is good.
So now that you've met our host and listened to our banter, it is time to catch you up. So if you haven't watched Supernatural recently, here is what you've missed on the road so far. First up, Noah is going to give us a recap of the show so far. Are you ready for this season recap, Noah?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. This is it. Give me a little countdown and I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so the two brothers, Sam and Dean, fighting all the demons and the monsters. Dean got sent to hell. He came back because of his true love, Castiel, who is starting to doubt more and more the instructions of God and whatnot. Sam is falling down a really dark path, drinking demon blood, and they're kind of concerned for his well-being and safety. Dean is trying to stay on top of this while meeting this new fling and figure it all out, what it really means.
Ooh, well done.
Thank you. I kind of lost it, but
Dean has a new fling, huh?
yeah, it's his fling. Well, I stand by it. Next
As you
up,
should.
Jacob is going to recap this week's episode. Are you ready?
No.
You can have it.
I believe in you. Let me know when you're ready. I'll give you a little countdown. It'll be great.
All right, whatever. Let's go.
Okay, let's do it. 3, 2, 1, go.
All right. So fuck. We get a backstory of Castiel and Jimmy, good old white Christian boy Jimmy. Figure out what's going on, how that happens, and then Jimmy goes home, and then there were demons, and then there was something about demon blood, and that has what happens.
Bam! You got it.
You know what?
Fantastic.
That was the best one, better than any of the ones, except for maybe the first one. The first one was my favorite.
And it's now time for us to pick some music to accompany us on our journey. Here is what we have on this week's episode mixtape. Noah, what have you got to start us off?
I went with Did I Make You Up by Half Alive, a fun little ditty that's kind of all about disconnecting from reality and not being quite sure if the person you met that was perfect was really real or if you kind of made him up. I don't know. It's kind of a sweet way to view Jimmy's whole situation.
It hurts.
Sam, how about you?
I picked Not Dark Yet by Callum Scott, which is a sad song, but it kind of was my vibes for the episode.
Damn.
So my pick this week is Forget Me by Louis Capaldi. This song had big Jimmy vibes to me and also big Destiel vibes, which are different things. Like Jimmy Novak and my shipping of Destiel are two separate entities, as is made very clear in this episode by the way that, Jimmy interacts. But there was a particular line that really hit me, and it was, I'd rather hear how much you regret me and pray to God that you never met me than forget me. And that just punched me in the face. So that's my pick.
Damn.
Jacob?
My pick is Staying Alive by the Bee Gees.
Fantastic.
I just felt that it really fit at the end when Jimmy got shot, and then him wanting his daughter to stay alive and for him to stay alive so that his daughter had a life. Look, it's got more layers than you might think.
Wow. I hadn't considered.
Got all the links.
Wow.
I love it.
Staying Alive.
This is marvelous. It's quality content.
I think those are some great mixtape additions this week.
Yeah,
I
amazing.
think so as well.
Now that we have our mixtape playing, it's time for the hunt of the week. Today's episode is The Rapture through the theme of fate, which is a really great theme.
I love it when we have big themes like this.
Powerful.
Yeah,
Mhm.
powerful is a good word.
Yeah.
So one place that I thought we start episodes like this quite often when we have an interesting complex theme. So I wanted to share the definition of the word fate to kind of propel us into this conversation, because what really amused me, and you'll hear it momentarily, was one of the particular words that's in the dictionary definition of fate: the development of events beyond a person's control, regarded as determined by a supernatural power.
Supernatural.
And I just thought that was an interesting thing to kind of take a peek at, because this episode is we're dealing with, angels and bloodlines and chosen ones and epic battle royales. And it's got a lot of fate connotations. Big things are happening.
Some major events. They're setting up for something heavy.
Oh, question I had. Did they know that he had the bloodline the whole time, or was it they found out that he?
When you say they, who do you Sam and Dean or Castiel?
No, the Castiel.
I think Cass knows it, but Jimmy doesn't until that moment.
Yeah, but Castiel and the angels, they all knew that he was chosen or whatever.
They've probably got a list of people who whose bloodlines are
yeah, so then that definitely leans a lot
And
in
they
fate.
and they know that like if you are like if this person is, on that list of like applicable vessels, then like anyone that is like a descendant of that person, one can assume would also be there. But I'm really curious, particularly because so Jacob, I don't know if you've ever seen this episode either, but I
Nope.
know Noah, you definitely haven't.
No.
So I'm curious for like first timers takes on this particular episode.
Well, to give an episode count, how many episodes have I been on?
Oh, I think they're
6. So this will be my 7th episode that I've watched.
Fantastic.
I mean, the fact that they do, obviously it's like a TV show in the early mid 2000s. It does a recap of the whole thing before the episode. And so I was pretty easily able to know what was going on. So it wasn't, but even then it felt like wow, there's a lot of emotion being thrown around. So I felt like of all the episodes, this one was definitely like the one that felt the most like emotional whiplash from.
emotional
Interesting.
whiplash.
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. I imagine even not as a first timer, this episode was a emotional roller coaster, as the kids say.
Yeah. I so very badly want to see the angel fight at the beginning, how Cass got knocked out of Jimmy. I want to see that whole situation.
Yeah, that would be. I'm always like annoyed that we never got a chance to actually see how that went down, especially given the wreckage.
Yeah, it's significant.
Missed opportunity for a good episode cold open,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
yeah.
great.
I liked Anna showing up out of nowhere. Just
Oh yeah.
she's in the back of the car.
Oh, we always love an unexpected Anna Milton.
So great. It was beautiful, and she just fits right in with that crew. I love that energy.
Yeah, I think it's really cool when like I love the Anna and Cass connection that happens throughout the show. Like we talked about this on like a bit on 416 back when we did that one, because like Anna really kind of serves as this like mentor to Cass. And so to like see her pop up in this random episode where it's like you're getting all this backstory about who Cass's vessel is, it's kind of a nice little touch.
That is true. I always like learning more about vessels and how they come about and that
How
process.
exactly they tick.
Yeah. Being chained to a comet is such an interesting way to phrase that.
I love that line so much. And it's just a casual way with which he says it. Like, yeah, it's like being chained to a comet,
Yeah.
What I've been dealing with for the last year. This is fine.
The Tuesday.
Yeah.
No big.
Tuesdays, picking a poke. Beat of the moment. I'm sorry. Had to. Another note that I had with like fate was that like Jimmy believes that his fate is to help Cass, and it's really kind of cool to like see how that faith in that fate deteriorates over the episode.
Yeah.
From like, oh yes, like he definitely wants me to help him and I'm chosen or whatever, to him like screaming at Cass outside the building at the end.
Ugh.
Well, and then like him realizing that it's not just his fate, it's his daughter's fate too.
Yeah. And like taking that on.
Yeah. Well, that it like completely flips his thought process all the way. Like, cause like he went from not understanding why, he's not back, like why he hasn't come back or whatever, like why Castiel hasn't come back, and then realizes that like it wasn't just him, it was his daughter too. So
Well, yeah, because he's very like when he realizes that like the Winchesters are like, trying to keep him from getting back to his family, he's very much like, I want out of this. I want nothing to do with angels ever again as long as I live. Like, I don't even want to pray with my family over dinner like I used to because of how much faith I've lost because of this experience.
Mm-hmm.
And to watch Jimmy's journey from that to this, point where he's like, take me, I don't care what happens to me, you cannot hurt my daughter. That's self-sacrifice. Like, I feel like sacrifice often gets tied to fate.
mm-hmm.
This idea that like you're supposed to sacrifice yourself for the people you care about, which is like a very common thread in Supernatural.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's part of Dean's whole core identity.
Yeah, it's like part of the DNA of the show, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
The DNA.
Oh my
I'm so
god.
sorry.
That was great. I love it. It's a sticker. I liked seeing sort of how you were saying Jimmy's faith deteriorate, the way that he asks how long, and they say we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Oh, and then how he says it to Amelia.
Yeah. That seeing that come full circle is
Mm-hmm.
And seeing like Amelia's journey as well is worth noting, because she goes from like, this is absolute BS, to the minute that she realizes like, oh my gosh, he was telling the truth this whole time. She's like, I don't care. Like, we have to stay together. Like, this demons, what? Like, and I think that that's really cool to see that from her, that she doesn't like kind of hold on to that, like, you're crazy theory, because she gets to see that proof with her own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of always Jimmy's fate to get trapped.
To get trapped.
Once you get involved with angels, there's no going back. You're fucked.
Well, not just angels, but once you get involved with the Winchesters, like, ugh.
Yeah.
That actually reminds me of another point I had about how like Sam, the way that he sort of treats Jimmy this episode is really interesting, because he's very much like, you know, you're in this now, like, you're in this for good, like, you don't get a way out, like, and I think that that's a really like sad sort of view to take, but like that's very much where Sam is at right now. Like, he wants to get out of this, but he knows that he can't, and so he's not going to let somebody else think they can.
He almost comes across impatient, because he's just he needs Jimmy to come to this realization faster so they can get to the next step, so they can stop Lilith, and he's not giving Jimmy any sort of respect for that time to process, which kind of hurts.
It's a little bit out of character, because Sam is usually the one who is more sensitive to
empathetic.
More empathetic, and but he seems quite harsh this episode, which that's just really where he is right now.
I also think at that point he had just run out of the blood, and so I think he was like kind of going into withdrawal as well, and so he was getting angrier, easier,
a little irritable.
Thank you.
He's going.
That's such an important point, because it's not like him to be like that. He's always the one that's being really soft with everybody. So you can kind of tell that this withdrawal that he's entering is really, it's affecting him in ways that he doesn't even realize. Like, he thinks he's just being realistic, but really he's not being himself.
Yeah.
Also, just like going from that and everything that Sam's going through, Dean finds out this episode that what's up with Sam is that he's drinking demon.
Yes, he does. I'm curious how first timers took that one.
Yeah. Thoughts?
Oh, yeah. Him
one of the most important moments,
jumping up and spinning around, face covered in blood, was okay, cool. You're gonna turn around and Dean's just supposed to just accept that. Just, oh, okay. Here's a little towel. Finish up. I'll move on over here. Like,
I did appreciate the framing of that, though. Because if you think about the shot that you see, so it's like you see Sam like doing that, and then when it turns to Dean, it's Dean and Claire, aka Cass, at that moment. So it's like, even though Cass is in a different vessel, this is like the two people who know and care about Sam the most, like, both realizing it at the same time.
I wouldn't say Cass is quite at that level. I would say Bobby instead. Cass cares about Sam because he cares about Dean, but
that is a very fair point.
Yeah.
At this point, at least. Eventually, maybe. Who knows? I don't know. But turning around and seeing Dean and Cass, feeling like your brother's going to be a little disappointed in you. It's great. Cool. But as soon as that demon starts running behind Dean, Sam, reaches out his arm towards him. Dean is almost a little scared of Sam, but he's not quite. He's more just like shocked.
Mm-hmm. But I caught that too. There's like this momentary like look in his eyes where he's like, God, they're pointing at me.
It didn't seem like he was afraid of Sam in that moment, but just confused about what was going on.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was interesting.
Worried, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It kind of just looked like he was going through like every emotion you can think of.
It's just like Dean's just casually running through all stages of grief in a span of 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And how about where the episode ends? Like,
in the car?
No.
in the bunker.
The scene in the car is also very good, and
it's excellent.
Dean
when
saying
they lock him in the thing,
that he's just tired of the fight with Sam. He's tired of having the same old discussion, which is true, but he's still angry about it, and he's still going to take some very extreme steps. It looks like locking him in the panic room.
He texted Bobby, and that's why Bobby called Sam.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I it always hurts that line when he's like, what's the big demon problem? And he says, you. No, thank you.
And just the look on Sam's face too.
Disbelief. So heartbreaking, and it's just gonna get worse. I don't know. Trapping him in there to detox him is gonna get rough.
Yeah, things are gonna take quite a turn after this point.
Yeah, rough end to the episode.
Very, very rough. Haunting a little bit.
Mhm.
Not quite the type of energy I would expect from season 4, episode 20, but it's okay.
You know?
Oh, 420. Nice. I get it.
Oh,
Oh my god.
LOL.
How funny. What a coincidence.
Yeah.
well, next up, we're going to slide right into our Going Meta section, where we are tracking lore, representation, behind the scenes trivia, and more. First up, we've got our rep check.
This episode is so gay.
Oh
So
my
gay.
god.
That's my whole note.
Fantastically gay.
We love the gays.
Well, but see, I would argue that like the episode is super gay, not because of Jimmy.
No.
Because Jimmy is very clearly not interested in Dean. And to Misha's credit, like I think he does a great job of playing that difference of like how Jimmy
Oh.
behaves towards them versus how Cass does. And like when he's Jimmy, he just wants to get back to his wife and kid. Like he doesn't want anything to do with any of this. But like but you see that Dean is going fucking through it because Cass is not Cass anymore.
Mhm.
And like my favorite moment that I had noted was like there's this, it's like when Jimmy is doing the whole like, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it moment with Amelia, and as they're like kind of embracing sweetly or whatever, the editors
Oh my
doing what
God.
they fucking do, cut to Dean, cut back to them hugging, cut back to
Mournfully looking
Dean.
back. Oh,
Like Dean looks like a fucking widow in a like gown walking on the thing, you know, waiting for his love to come back from the war, and I just can't fucking deal with it.
yep. Not a coincidence. They did it on purpose, and I love it. I love them for it.
They knew what they were doing.
Oh, they absolutely do. Yeah, Misha and Jensen's acting are great.
They kill it every time.
Yeah. I was just gonna say like the acting towards the end of season 4 is really like top tier for all of the main leads, like
Mhm.
Misha, Jensen, and Jared, and you know even
Robert.
Jim, who plays what Robert
Robert Singer.
played by Jim Beaver.
Yes.
Are they just all are really acting their faces off, and I enjoy all of their performances.
Honestly. As far as relationship dynamics go, Roger's wife isn't even given a name, right? So she's a demon already, but she doesn't have a name, which is kind of disappointing. We get Amelia and Claire, but
Oh yeah, the demon never gets named.
Not even in the credits.
No.
I think it's just Roger's wife.
I did love though in the episode how Dean just, you know, before you were icing Alistair and now you can't even kill stunt demon number 5.
That was pretty great.
Like
It's a bit of a roast, but maybe that's what they're
this random red shirt over here, you know, can't even, it's a little Star Trek reference for you.
It was very cute. So get this. I was checking into the lore on this episode, and we kind of get some talk about vessels being hereditary and passing down genetically, which is kind of interesting. We talked about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool reveal of like, you know, if you are a vessel, your children can be vessels as well.
Which is interesting because I feel like you can earn the right to be a vessel too. So then
You think so?
I feel like that. I mean, according to ancient lore, and from what I know of it, I don't know
your
if it's
education at
supernatural.
Stanford University.
Anywho, it feels like you can earn the ability to be a vessel if you prove you're pure of heart and shit like that. So I wonder if that would get passed down too, or if that's a different thing. If it's just
Cool theory.
predestination chosen type shit, and then maybe those people work on it, and then but they knew predestination versus free will is such a
That's something we
Well-
dig into a bunch on this show.
Well, so I would imagine these other bloodlines must have started at some point and not like necessarily at the beginning of time or whatever, but it must have started at some point. So I imagine like, yeah, when they do get to that point of like living so purely that they become chosen.
Or was it at some point back in the olden days, 45 angels needed to come down for some mission, and they're like, well, let's pick 45 humans and those 45
No.
bloodlines, however they spread.
Oh, I wonder
Became
if they're
vessels.
like the 12 disciples or
Apostles.
the apostles, or
Okay.
the 12 disciples, and then the bloodlines just went down after that. That would be something else.
Interesting. It'd be interesting. But do they ever get into that, Elayna?
They may. I don't know.
Okay, they do. Cool.
I guess you'll just have to watch the show and find out.
So, yeah, any other lore? They've got the demon blade again. I don't quite remember that coming back, but they've got the demon blade.
Yeah, they do.
We get to see the panic room come back, but I think that's it.
Return of the Panic Room.
Return of Panic Room.
Good old panic room.
I just love Bobby's house. Like anytime they're at Bobby's, I feel significantly happier as a person.
Yeah,
Even if it is depressing shit happening. I'm like, at least we're in a safe place.
honestly, we can't be safer than at Bobby's place.
Mm-mm. So now it is time for us to close out this week's episode with everyone's character to watch. Noah, why don't you start us off?
I think you got to go with Dean for this week because
Oh boy.
he had to lock up his brother, but it's going to be really hard to keep him there, I feel like. And I don't know.
He had to lose his boyfriend and lock up his brother. He had a lot going on this week.
A lot of
Yep.
sacrifices on Dean's end. So I'm going to watch him. How about you, Sam?
I would watch Cass. I think there's a lot going on for him. I think it's going to be interesting to see him coming back into his vessel and how he handles that.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
Jacob,
Yes.
who would you want to watch for next week? What character?
Anna, to me at least, she was the most mysterious. And so I'm like, what's going to
Ooh.
happen with Anna?
Mysterious Anna.
And she
That
had
is-
the reddest of heads, I guess.
The reddest of
I cannot.
Elayna, what about you? What you got? Who you watching?
So I have to watch Bobby again. Whenever we get this like category, I try to like think back to like where was my brain when I watched this for the first time, and I feel like I definitely would have been wondering like, oh no, like how is Bobby going to deal with this situation with these boys, because he's such a good caregiver, but there's like how do you give care in a situation that's this crazy and complicated and scary. So
Yeah,
I'd be wondering how Bobby is going to dad in the next episode.
because you know he's going to do it.
Yeah, Bobby. If there's one thing we can be sure of on this podcast, it's that Dad Bobby is gonna dad Bobby.
Oh yeah, he dabs hard.
I have nothing to say.
It sounds wrong.
He
Sounds
dads
so wrong.
so hard.
Oh my god. So that is all we have for today. Make sure that you are all subscribed to Saving People Queering Things wherever you listen to your podcasts, and be sure to share our show with your friends.
And thank you so much to Jacob for coming on today's episode. It was such a blast. So glad you demanded this one back in the day. It was just
Positively persuaded.
oh yeah, sorry.
Yes.
I would like to strike that from the record, please.
Yeah. His team would request that our PR department revisit that.
Of course. Is there anywhere that people can find you on the internet that you want to share that around, or is there any work that I don't know?
I do music, I guess. I don't know.
Ooh,
Look up my name on Instagram, and I've got some things on there.
Jacob
That's dope.
with the K.
Excuse me?
Jacob with the K
No.
and a B.
I'm about to act up.
With a C and a B.
Thank you.
We're in audio format, but that's fine. Hey, we'll tag it below. We'll figure it out. It's okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's just my name.
But we don't know your name.
It's Jacob.
Yeah,
Just,
but
you have at Jacob on Instagram?
JAKO.
JACOBHAGAN. There
Nice.
you go.
Jacob Hagen. And then he's on Spotify. He's on SoundCloud. You know what's up.
Oh, boy.
And just support his work. We appreciate it. He'll sing us out later on. Yeah.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
No.
Well,
All right.
you can
That'll
find
do.
links to all of our social media and join our Discord server through our website, queeringthingspodcast.com.
And if you're all caught up on Supernatural and want to go back to before the beginning, August, as well as our friends Beth and KJ, are watching their way through the Winchester. So you can catch that podcast over on Twitter, where we're at Wayward Parents, or on Tumblr at Wayward Parents Pop.
Be sure to ride along with us next week as we discover episode 21, When the Levee Breaks, through the theme of victory.
Thank you for all coming along for the ride, and we wish you a peaceful road until we meet again.
That was really
Your
yeah.
sultry tones are going to carry us. It's going to be so gorgeous. I'm so proud.
Yeah, thank you. It's sultry.